In my friends of in the glory and radiance of the my friends of long ago, we are not strangers as you might at first think, for long have many of us known each other. You of English ancestry and I have known each other for a long, long time, and those of you whom I have not met at previous times, I love you, every one. As it has been my privilege to render a service for at least 2 centuries, so tonight it is my joy and privilege to give forth my radiation to you while the words are being spoken. The great host of ascended masters are making a resistless effort to establish within your feeling, your thought, and your world, a quality of the ascended master activity which brings more quickly the mighty results that you crave. Will you bear with me when I pour forth this radiation to you? Feel as deeply as you can the reality of this mighty I Am presence, which beats your heart, and that you can, by decreeing, retain the memory of what you do out of the body when you retire at night. First, charge your consciousness to go forth into the Ascended Master's octave of light, retain the memory and bring it back when you awaken. 217. In the morning. There are so many of you here for whom that is possible. It has been my privilege for a long time to give assistance in this way. If you will do that, I will endeavor to give you the assistance which will give you not only the memory of what you have heard and seen in those higher octaves, where the Ascended Masters minister without the limitations which the human feels here, but that you may feel their courage brought back with you. This is a vastly different thing, precious ones, from that which you endeavor to call forth and generate through self-conscious activity in your attention to your presence. I mean, this will sustain and strengthen you tremendously in gaining your victories through your own application. Every one of us who has attained the victory through a much more difficult period than you have today, had the assistance of those who preceded us in the ascension. Therefore, we were given strength and encouragement to stand firmly by this mighty presence, unyielding, until we began to see our achievement with sufficient fullness. Thus, we did not lack in any sense for courage and strength. These ascended master qualities are so important. As the messenger said to you a few minutes ago, it is encouragement and strength mankind needs, not kicks and blows because individuals have made a mistake. All mankind have made plenty of mistakes. From the higher standpoint, one is little different from another. All is a falling short of perfection. So, now in the knowledge of your mighty I Am presence, and the great cosmic assistance which is being given, you are having the courage and strength to win your victory. Notice, this dear ones. We have gone through every step of the way that you have to go, and know through actual feeling every single step which you must make to gain this freedom. Then, will you believe me when I tell you we know your requirements wholly and completely? In the wisdom which Saint Germain has brought forth, this knowledge is put forth in a simple, dynamic, powerful manner, in a terminology which all may easily understand. Will you again remind yourselves, precious ones, that in your application you are using the power of the universe? The I Am presence, which beats your heart, is actually the power of the universe, and when you call it into action, it knows no resistance or interference. It cannot fail. Unless you requalify its mighty energy, as you have so often been told, its perfection is always pouring through. We are determined that you shall have the freedom which your hearts crave, if you will allow us to give you our assistance. It is imperative that you keep yourselves harmonized. There is no one thing in the world which deprives you of the perfection of your I Am presence more than discord. So, as we continue to plead with you to master all activity of feeling by self-control, and hold your feelings harmonious, we too will give you assistance, all that is possible, to help you attain perfection. The day you begin to see its tremendous energy pouring forth, its tremendous light which is victory in everything you require, then will you rejoice as never before in the glory of your mighty I Am presence, the great victor. There are a great many people among the students who have a natural ability to go and come from the body. Now please, precious ones, do not try to do that by yourselves, unless you feel thoroughly anchored in your own I Am presence. Call the Ascended Master's invincible protection about you before any such attempt is made. If you care to call to me for assistance, I shall be happy to give you all assistance possible, but go into this activity in a very calm, firm state, knowing that your mighty I Am presence is your invincible protection. It is a natural thing, a perfectly natural, practical activity which mankind has forgotten. To those to whom I have been able to give this assistance, their freedom came at once, Bob, Rex, Nada, and Pearl. Their joy is still boundless, even since they have gained their own freedom by their own application. Still, in that service great assistance was given to them. Mr. Gaylord, long a messenger of the great white brotherhood, is with me, for we have worked together for a long time. So, tonight it is my endeavor to draw so close into your feeling world also, that you feel how truly real not only I am, but that all of the ascended masters are quite as real as you are, quite as tangible. The more you can feel that individually and as a great group, the more you will have the blessing and benefit of that which we are endeavoring to give forth. You see, no one can receive this good who repels it, either in thought or feeling. You cannot, even in the outer world. You cannot receive a thing if you repel it, can you? It is not possible. Realize how much more it is acting in the emotional or feeling world of mankind to repel a thing, than it is out here in the physical world. Once you get the feeling, precious ones, that your emotional or feeling world is the great reality, and what you see out here is but the effect, then you will begin to draw to you the intensity of the inner activity which comes alone from the presence, whether it be the assistance of the ascended masters or direct from the presence alone. I cannot impress too strongly upon you, dear ones, how necessary it is to be calm and firm in calling your mighty I Am presence into action to produce any given result for you. Do not feel that it is not operating. If you do not have the immediate results you think you should have, but keep with firm determination calling your mighty I Am presence into action to produce what you decree, and you must have it. That is the way we had to attain, every one of us who attained the ascension. We had to accomplish it through this identical application which Saint Germain has brought forth to you. I assure you, precious ones, there is not one thing left out in those 3 books which you require for your freedom and ascension. I do not recall that just this has been said to you before, but I feel quite free to say it. Do you think, precious ones, that this mighty ascended master instruction of the I Am just came forth without premeditation and preparation? You cannot think that, surely. All of these great activities which come forth in the higher octaves of the ascended masters, or the activity which comes forth through the host of ascended masters, is all prepared. These books were written years and years before they came into physical form. They were just the outpicturing of that which was already recorded in the experience of this good brother. The I Am discourses, which Saint Germain dictated and brought forth, were all prepared in the higher octave. I want so much, tonight, to bring into your consciousness the feeling that the reality of everything which comes into manifestation exists first in its light pattern. Everything that comes into form out here first must have its light pattern, your own form included. You could not have a form without a light pattern upon which it was built. The points of light within the cells of your body are the light pattern upon which is gathered the substance that makes your physical form. Do you not see how practical, how wise it is to realize that this substance around your light pattern has been molded and acted upon by your feeling which was less than perfection? Reverse they'll hold your outer activity in abeyance. Call your presence into action, which is perfection, to reverse and change those mighty currents of energy. Then you begin to outpicture the perfection, instead of recording the imperfection which is the clothing of your light pattern. It will remain. It is so all-comprehensive to realize that in your emotional or feeling world there is the cause of everything that comes into manifestation. If you want health, happiness, supply, and perfection, your attention and your feeling would necessarily need to accept, from the only place where perfection can come from, your mighty I Am presence, all that it holds there waiting for you. Dear ones, think how long the perfection from the presence has been waiting for something to call your attention to the requirements within your outer octave here, which would allow its energy to flow through unhampered, untouched by anything but its own perfection. It is the great law of life, precious ones. Do not ever tire of studying and applying this great knowledge which Saint Germain has brought forth. It was intentionally made so simplified that even a child can understand and apply it. All of the old terminology has been left out, so no one might be confused in its application. That is why the great divine director, Jesus, and others have said, if you can, give your whole attention to this, forgetting all that has not produced results for you, then you will more quickly have results from this application. It is not, dear ones, that you should be ungrateful for all that has blessed you, wherever it came from, but we, who have attained the victory through the same application, are urging you and pouring forth our radiation because we want you to be free as quickly as possible. Our radiation does come forth to strengthen, to bless, and to hold you within our courage and strength until you, by your own application, hold the reins of dominion in your own hands. Then nothing in the world can disturb you again. Quite often the students write into the messengers and ask why certain things are not accomplished as fast as they think they should be. The messengers had to make the most dynamic application, without cessation, and they still do, to hold in abeyance the things which would sweep them under. So, every one of the beloved I am students must do the same thing, until each one has gained more than the 50% of perfection. Then, the great onrush from the momentum gained gives you the assistance which requires less of your firm, determined application than it did at first. After that is attained, you will find, just like this good brother, that in one sweeping decree you can release the power and energy from the presence to come forth and do things almost instantaneously, where before it might have taken you weeks to accomplish the same thing. You are all gaining just such a momentum, precious ones, and it is my mission tonight to register this in your feeling. At this point you are gaining your victory, which will enable you to have more instantaneous manifestation of the things you require. Do not be discouraged. Go on, and on, and on, because until you have reached the ascended state, dear hearts, you will have to continue to make your application. There is no one to do it for you. You would not want to just be in abeyance and allow us to do it for you, would you? There would be no victory in that. One blessed student recently said, when a certain thing happened, where in the world were the ascended masters? Why did they not prevent it? They prevent 1,001 things of which the outer is never aware, dear hearts. Will you believe me when I tell you that the ascended masters for more than 40 years have served mankind, seeing this point was to be reached? Why do you suppose the number who have already become interested in this presentation have become so earnestly interested? Because all the time, unknown to them, the great blessed ascended masters were pouring forth into the feeling world their radiation, so when this came into outer expression they would be ready to receive it. Now that is one of the services the ascended masters have been rendering the people for the past 40 years. Since Madame Blavatsky came into the outer world and attempted through theosophy to bring some of this knowledge and understanding to mankind, the ascended masters have poured out this radiation. Then, Mrs. Eddy brought another phase of it. Now, this has come forth as the final knowledge and the acknowledgement of the mighty I Am presence. It is the great God source of life, the great principle of life, individualized. It is intelligent action, the great power of the universe, glorifying mankind with its threefold activity. Our beloved sister so often mentions the threefold flame, the great unfed flame. It is your trinity of action, precious ones. The son, Donald, has also often mentioned the power of the 3 times. THREE, all of these are expressions of the one, the same great invincible power of the mighty I Am presence which, when called into action, produces such tremendous results. That which we term the sinister force fears the supreme power of life tremendously, and when the words power of the 3 times 3 are issued, the sinister force is powerless. Precious ones, do not, I plead with you, accept anything less than perfection as real or having power in your world. It really does not. I am speaking these words with other ascended masters who are present and charging this into your feeling world. Do you know how greatly we love you, blessed ones, and why we are making this tremendous effort to stabilize, to anchor you so firmly in this understanding and your application of it, that nothing in the world can shake you loose from it? We rejoice, oh, so greatly, for this privilege and means of speaking to you in this way. All we are pouring forth to you is our application, and there are no human concepts in these words. While I am using words with which you are familiar, of course avoiding all technical terminology, yet it is our expression. It is our means of conveying this to you. It touches you first through your attention, then by the spoken word, and last, by the radiation of our light in and through your feelings. We are able to render you this service now, as we could not have a year and a half ago. You will find this growing more and more powerful as it goes on and your feeling becomes more sensitized to this great perfection. You too, then, will feel radiating to you, acting within your feeling, the confidence of which many have been so much in need. When you are in the radiation of the class, precious ones, you receive, as you all agree, I am quite sure, a tremendous step up, as you say in electrical parlance. It is true you are tremendously raised, but do you understand, blessed students, that since the beloved messengers returned from Honolulu, everything which comes through this activity is a permanently sustained activity within you. It cannot go back, it is not possible, neither can you. You cannot step back once you have entered into this great stream since that time. You must all have noticed the magnificent change in your voices, the marvelous manner in which you issue these decrees, and the marvelous qualities in your voices. Many wanted to sing and could not, then all at once they burst into song, surprising themselves. These are wonderful miracles, so-called, but mankind, because it is through themselves, look upon it as an ordinary thing. It is not, it is as miraculous and as great as many other things to which you give much greater notice. Beloved ones, you can change your thought and feeling immediately by a few moments' attention to the mighty I Am presence. When agitation, anger, and disturbance would rush in, you can calm it, silence it, and be free almost instantly. It is a magnificent thing, and we all had to do it. I say, you are having assistance unheard of. Why? Because, beloved ones, you are deserving of it. What is prayer as you previously knew it? A sincere desire of the heart really, but in the lack of the knowledge of your individualized principle of life, which is God the mighty I Am presence, you were not anchored, so to speak, at your point in the universe. Your consciousness was thinking of an omnipresence. Such a concept does not enable you to bring forth a definite, special activity and manifestation at a given point, as you do now in your understanding of the mighty I Am presence, as the individualized presence whose ray beats your heart. That is what every one of mankind is seeking. They cannot reach victory without it. All people have sought it, from every angle in which they have been interested. So tonight, my precious ones, you are entering into the gates of your freedom. Will you accept it, that we may prove it through you? Is not that a fair promise? Never in our experience was such an offer even permitted, but the great cosmic law today has said, O children of the light, awaken. Awaken. And shake yourselves free from the chains of human creation. Glorify yourselves in the acknowledgement of the principle of life which is your mighty I Am presence, and stand forth victorious in its light. Mankind, without understanding that their freedom depends upon this, cannot possibly and will not make the application necessary for their freedom. That is why the need of application has been stressed constantly to the students everywhere. It is only through their application that they can win the victory of their freedom. Every assistance in the world is being given them now, for them, to them, and through them, so they may have all that is required, whether it be strength, life, intelligent direction, health, or whatever is required. They can have it without limit in the acknowledgement of their presence. When I think of 112 years ago, during a time in my ministry when the ravages of ill health were destroying mankind right and left, the great divine director came to me and said, "Why are you not rendering the service of which you are capable?" I looked at him in astonishment. I thought I was rendering service. Then, in his great limitless power, he showed me clearly how I was only using a small part of the power of my presence needed to render the service. He gave a mighty decree and asked me to join in it, and what do you think happened? Oh, precious ones, that very hour the ravage of that distressing condition stopped, and within 7 days everyone was free from it. That is how limitless these great powers are which you have come to know. Do not let anything, precious ones, deprive you of the full feeling of your victory, your ability and power to call this presence and energy forth into action without limit. Do you not see, precious ones, you are moving in a world, a seething vortex of human suggestion. When the messengers came forth at the last shrine class, the suggestion had been spread that it would be the last class they would ever hold. What foolishness! Do you not see how the sinister force seizes upon one individual and then another, and causes them to start forth such a suggestion? Individuals take it up and one begins to wonder, and then another. As students, no longer accept that. There will be many classes in Los Angeles, and there probably will be another one here in June or July, right here in Los Angeles. So, do not accept those sinister suggestions from whatever source they come. The great ascended masters know their business and will carry it out. We prompt you, do you not see, precious ones, in every way possible, to stabilize and help you to refrain from accepting these suggestions which deprive you of first one thing or another. In regard to the suggestion of ill health, the Earth's atmosphere is charged with it. Notice the sinister suggestion started again recently, to spread the activity of the old-time flu is coming again. Well, it is not going to do it, praise God. It has already lost its power. This is how, precious ones, with your assistance, we endeavor to forestall all of these ravaging things which otherwise would become so distressing to mankind. When you hear of something starting like colds or flu, or the various names people have given to such activities, silently, individually in your rooms, or your groups give forth this powerful decree, mighty I am presence, silence all of that. Dissolve cause and effect of it, and keep mankind free from the effects of all such things. In most cases all such things start with purely human suggestion. That is why, dear ones, we urge you and prompt you time and time again, do not accept such suggestions. Is it not strange that the human in mankind will go to such ends to try to distort conditions and prevent the beloved children of light having the blessing which is in store for them? The messengers care nothing about these reports, but we sometimes mention and take them up, to prevent the students being longer harassed by these false statements. You must be strong enough, precious ones everywhere, and not accept suggestions from the sinister force which would prevent you from gaining your freedom through this application. Will you take this up in your study groups and remind the students of it? It is up to the students, because individually the messengers cannot always be present to prompt you. During the classes and at every opportunity they do prompt the blessed ones everywhere to be firm and strong against those things. You are the loser if you listen to sinister suggestions, precious ones, do you not see that? You are not harming the messengers or the work, but you are just being deprived of the glory which awaits you. I am so grateful that there are so many of the group leaders here tonight to have this radiation, and to go forth carrying it into their meetings. We sometimes hear the report that small group leaders become discouraged because of the greater activities in the larger groups. We love every one of the groups throughout America, whether they are great or small. The largeness of the group does not make any difference in our love, but the large groups do release greater power. However, do not dissolve your small groups, precious ones, because of that. You do not know what is done in your meetings through the smaller groups, by your endeavors in issuing these decrees. You do not know what a service you might be rendering, but because the larger groups have a greater momentum is no reason why you should dissolve yours. We want you all to go on with your groups, whether small or large, and do all the work you can, and our radiation will pour forth. Oh, precious ones, no one or group is ever forsaken when they are honest, earnest, and sincere. Do you not see that? How could a being wholly perfect fail to render radiation to any group who was in earnest? Do you see that? Do not let the sinister force and suggestion rush in or disturb you. Go on and on with your work, precious ones, and one day you will rejoice beyond all words to express, that you did continue to render this service to your fellow man and yourselves. In the service of calling forth all that you wish for yourself, to be given to all mankind too, you are rendering a mighty service. You are entering into a mighty cosmic activity. It is not just an ordinary activity of individual application, even in groups. Now you are calling forth the power of light through these great cosmic beings and acting within the great cosmic law. Such activity has never existed on earth before in any age, because the action of the law was not at the point where it was permitted. Today you are living in a time of great rejoicing, a time when the victory of your achievement is so great and so comparatively easy to what it was 3 centuries ago. Shall I digress just a moment here to tell you our conversation after last Sunday morning's service at Mr. Lanning's? I think you would be interested. After Jesus had dictated his wonderful discourse, in conversation afterwards he said to us who were present, I rejoiced this morning with those blessed ones sitting in the open air, for in that time so long ago we had to hide in caves and places away from the rest of mankind, in order to worship as our hearts wish to do. Today in the open, under the great canopy of heaven, all may worship as they choose. He said it gave him such a great desire to once again pour forth, as he had not done since the time of his own ministry to mankind. He wants to try to cause you to feel his nearness and the reality of that which all could achieve today, but which was started then. Dear ones, one day when you are privileged to have these great ones stand forth in the tangible, visible form and talk to you, then will you realize what was done that morning, what is done tonight, and what has been done through every dictation since the beginning of the shrine class. Just for a moment still yourselves, and feel the mighty freeing radiation which is pouring forth from the group of ascended masters here tonight. Just let it permeate and saturate your whole atomic structure, your whole flesh body, and cause those points of light within every cell to expand, expand, and expand, until the light floods your whole being. Let the great light at your heart just expand and exo until it envelopes and saturates your emotional and mental body, cleansing and purifying every imperfect thing and taking it out of your emotional or feeling world. Just feel this all dissolve as if it never had been. Then, feel the great ascended master light substance from the love star replacing it. Just let it replace and fill every cell of your body with its great purifying substance and light. If it is healing your body requires, then say, Great ascended master substance, which is intelligent, fill all those parts which have been in distress. Dissolve with your greater activity everything that has been previously acting. Just dissolve it and replace it by this pure, perfect substance which gives me perfect health, joy, happiness, strength, and courage of the mighty I Am presence, and the great host of ascended masters. O sweet, precious presence of divine love. Flow in and through and fill each one with thy wondrous presence. Go out into their worlds and fill all their activity with your presence of divine love, which makes everyone who looks upon them love these precious ones. Make everyone happy to serve. Give them encouragement and strength. Then, great source of light, flood their beings and worlds with thy mighty radiance, again carrying forth thy substance, thy ascended master substance from the secret love star, filling the mind, the body, the emotional body, the mental body with light. 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 Until there is not a single shadow in either mind, body, or world. Great power of wisdom, flood in and through the mind and body of each one. Take full command of all activity there, causing your wisdom to act at all times, until no longer do human concepts have power to act. Silence them, that this great wisdom may act at all times in each one, producing the threefold flame of life in action. How we thank thee, O great presence of light, O mighty I Am, for the service which thou hast rendered this night. We thank thee, O beloved Jesus, beloved Saint Germain, mighty divine director, beloved Nada, beloved Cha Era, beloved Chananda, beloved Lanto, mighty gods of the mountains. We thank thee tonight for this service rendered to these precious, oh, such very precious ones of the light. May this hour never be forgotten in their continued journey in the light. May this radiance forever enfold and protect them with its invincible power, directing them by its mighty intelligence, enfolding them in its mighty all-encompassing love and light, that all may feel the freedom, the glory, the infinite life and freedom which is theirs. We thank thee, great source of all light, for thy service rendered tonight. Great group of ascended masters, amplify this feeling within these precious ones, and each day make all more powerful, more certain within their feeling, more firm to keep out all undesirable things. Make them stand with the spine straight, receiving into their minds and bodies and pouring out into their worlds thy great and mighty purifying substance. It carries within it all supply of everything that is required, which will take form according to the degree that you call it forth into action. If it be money you require, mighty I Am presence, release from your great treasure house into my world this needed supply, and see that it is done now. See that all feeling contrary to this action is silenced and held in abeyance by me. Then, as you continue to make your call, be firm and sure within yourself. If it be health you want, mighty I Am presence, I stand a receptacle for your pure energy. Send it forth through my body. Sweep out every imperfection, and replace it by your perfect health. Then do not accept any feeling to the contrary, but just go on glorified more each day with the certainty of your freedom, victory, health, supply, and the glory of life, the mighty I Am presence, which enables you to be here. The glory of that life is waiting to flood your being with its purity and perfection. As your attention is given wholly to your I Am presence, then only perfection can flow forth. Oh, precious ones, if you are calling for the direction of your mighty I Am presence, and sometimes find you have made a mistake, do not be disturbed. Go right on and call, saying, Mighty I Am presence, I have made a mistake. I call on the law of forgiveness. If I have misappropriated your great energy, I call on the law of forgiveness, but I am dauntless in having your mighty intelligence, which is clear and definite, without limit. As you do this you shall have it. My love and blessings, and that of the ascended ones gathered here, enfold you always in our mighty radiance, calling you on and on and on, until that day when you stand in the glory of your mighty, electronic presence, a free ascended being. I thank you.